I want to teach you about money, and in this video, we'll go deep in the topic of understanding money, and I'll give you some very simple tips I gave to one of my sales teams recently about how to make more money. You have to understand that everything starts in your mind. Might seem a bit cliche, you've probably heard it 1,000 times. Everything starts with the mindset you have about money. So we'll keep it very practical here because that's what I believe in. Yes, you have to have the right mindset to attract money, but ultimately you need to do things to make money. Before doing the things to make money, I found throughout training thousands of salespeople who sell for my companies that a lot of times what happens is, especially with people who are client facing and who go out and sell and close and collect money, people who are pitching products and services, what happens is their own beliefs about money stops them from making more money. So let's get into that. I was telling my sales team specifically that if the amount that you're asking for, if the price of the product you're selling creates friction within you, creates a limiting belief, and if you have a block, usually a mental block, about the amount that you're asking your client or your prospective client to pay, it will end up being very painful and difficult for you to collect sales and make money on a regular basis because that amount means something emotional for you right now. And we need to get rid of that if you want to break through the plateaus and make more money. So let's get into something very concrete. One of my sales teams sells a product for $5,000. That's the price, $5,000. Now, depending on how you've been brought up, depending on the education you have, people who have given you and instilled their beliefs about money into you and who have downloaded or uploaded their beliefs into your brain, you have a belief system formed around the amount of money that is $5,000. It means something different to you than it means to me or to you and your colleague, your neighbor, or people you grew up with in high school. So you need to first be clear about what it means for you. Does it mean 1 day of work, 1 week of work, 1 month of work, 6 months of work, a year of work? What does $5,000 mean to you? That's the first thing you need to understand. And we need to get rid of the emotion or the negative emotion that is stuck to that amount in your mind right now. So if you've been selling things for 50 bucks, selling something 100 times more expensive will create friction. It's undeniable. And so the way I explain this to one of my sales teams is there's always a range of price, right? When you go to the gas station and you buy bubble gum, the decision-making process is very different to when you're going to buy a house. When you're dropping $1 million, $2 million, $5 million on a house, the decision-making process will be very different. It makes sense. Now, let's take it back to the $5,000 sale that you're trying to make. On a scale of 0 being the bubble gum, the thought process you have to go through to buy bubble gum for $2, and the thought process needed to go and buy a house for $2 million, the thought process and the perceived risk, the risk you're taking is very different. And so right now where you're in, right now in your situation, you will have a different point of view, a different belief system, and you will attach a different value to $5,000. And what I mean by that is if today I wired $1 million to your bank account, picture that, you just received $1 million wired to your bank account. Would $5,000 have the same value in your mind, the same belief? Would that trigger the same emotions as $5,000 right now without the $1 million in your bank account? It's a very powerful thing once you start understanding and attaching emotions to the amounts written on your screen, because ultimately selling something for 200 bucks, 50 bucks, or $10,000 always carries emotion. And so we want, and you want, to attach a better emotion, a more positive emotion, and almost an emotion of detachment to the amount that you're trying to sell and that you're trying to get out of a deal or out of a sale. So you have to understand that the more you can let go of those emotions, the more you can see the price being just several digits one after the other, the more it will be beneficial for you and your sales performance. And the best way to do that is to act as if. That's what I tell my sales teams. Act as if. Act as if I just wired you $1 million. How would that make you feel if you're selling something for $5,000? It would be literally the fourth digit, right? Because you have $1 million, which would be 1, and then 000, comma, 000. It would be the fourth digit, which would make the emotion very different than if it's the first digit that you're looking at when you open your savings account right now. So the best way to kind of rewire your brain is to act as if you have a much bigger amount. And believe it or not, the brain is very powerful, and it has helped thousands of salespeople understand that ultimately the price that they pitch, the price of a product or service, is just a number on a screen. And the emotions that you attach to that number is what you need to get over or work on to close more deals. So again, act as if you had $1 million today and rewire, and it will give you a different emotional response to the number you're looking at or that you're trying to get out of a sale. Think about that. Drop a comment below with your feeling. The more you can detach your emotions from the amount, the better you will do in life when it comes to pricing, money, and financial success.